Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Holy Trinity Church in Maisons-Laffitte. And this is the sermon for the 10th Sunday after Trinity. And I've put the readings for today in the description box. But first of all, I want to look at the gospel reading, because there is a line in today's gospel that always stops me in my tracks. When Luke writes simply, and Jesus saw her. 18 years, this woman, bent over. 18 years of staring at the ground, of not being able to lift her head to meet anyone's gaze. 18 years of being overlooked, avoided, and probably judged. In their culture, illness was often seen as a punishment. People would whisper, "What has she done? Did God punish her?" So this woman, she carried not just pain, but shame along with her heavy spirit. And then Jesus saw her. And he saw her not as a nuisance, not as that woman over there with the problem. He saw her and he called her over and he touches her and he sets her free from whatever it was that was causing her to be bent over. Others in the synagogue that day saw something very different. They saw a rule being broken. They saw work being done on the wrong day. They saw tradition being threatened. But Jesus saw her. And in that moment, he doesn't just heal her body, he restores her dignity and he gives her back a place within the community. And there's also a much bigger message here when he calls her a daughter of Abraham. Now, this is revolutionary. Up until that point, men were called the sons of Abraham. They were the heirs of the promise, the insiders to the covenant. Women were rarely described in those terms. In fact, in the 10th commandment, women are listed along with property. And it says your neighbour's house, your neighbour's wife, his servant, his ox, his donkey. Women ranked below the house and just above the animals. So when Jesus says, "You are a daughter of Abraham," he is rewriting the script. He is saying, you are not property, you are not less, you are equal. You are an heir of God's promise. It's a word of restoration, but also of freedom and of belonging. This isn't just a Sabbath story, it's a freedom story. Jesus doesn't just straighten her back, he raises her up, right up, as a person of worth. And she stands tall, not only physically, but spiritually and socially. She is recognized and honored and restored. And the theme of the kingdom that we have been following these past weeks is here again. 2 Sundays ago, we heard as Jesus said, "Do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom." The kingdom as a gift we discussed. And last Sunday, Jesus warned us, be ready. And we heard about the kingdom being a call on our lives. And today, in this bent woman set free, we glimpse the kingdom as restoration. The kingdom breaks into our world not only to comfort but to free, to lift up those who are bowed down, to restore dignity to those who have been pushed out to the margins. The reading from the letter to the Hebrews that we heard also reminds us we have received a kingdom that cannot be shaken, like Sinai, where Israel received the law, the commandments, and where there was fear and trembling, where people stood at a distance. They were afraid of God's voice. But this, we are told, is Zion. In historical terms, Zion was where David built the temple, but it also represents heavenly Zion and the fulfillment of God's promises, the place where the living God draws near and welcomes us all into his kingdom. In this kingdom, there is no shrinking back, no fear, no second-class citizens. It's joy, freedom, and belonging. So this is not only the woman's story, this is our story, because Jesus sees us too. He sees the way we are sometimes bent down, whether that's by grief, by wounds, by fear, by guilt, by pain, whatever the quiet burdens that we have carried for years. Jesus sees us, not as the world sees us, but as beloved children of God. And he calls us to him and he sets us free. And us, well, we might want to utter those words that we heard from the Jeremiah reading. Oh no, it's too late for me. Or I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too weak, I'm too unqualified. And yet God answers, do not be afraid, for I am with you. I put my words in your mouth. I give you dignity, authority, and worth. The kingdom does not rest on our adequacy. It rests on God's faithfulness. So what does this mean for us as a church? Well, it means we need to keep asking who in our community is bent down, who is unseen, who is overlooked, carrying burdens in silence. And that might be an elderly neighbour who rarely leaves the house. It might be the refugee family who feel out of place. The teenager who walks to school every day, dreading what might be said to them. Or somebody sitting here in church, smiling on the outside, but weighed down on the inside. And just as Jesus saw her, we are called to see them, to notice, to look beyond the labels and the first impressions, to restore dignity, not to take it away, to create community where people can stand up, where people can stand tall because they know they are children of Abraham, children of God and heirs of the kingdom. Because that's the kingdom in action. A kingdom that lifts up the lowly. A kingdom that restores the broken. A kingdom that sets people free. A kingdom where the unseen are seen. The bent are raised and the fearful are told, stand tall. That's the kingdom. The gift, the call, and the restoration. And the good news, it's ours. We can all claim it. Amen. Have a good week, everyone.